Hello. I thought I'd do a quick overview of the modifications and fixes I came up with for the ceramic cat fountain. And I'll put all the links below and even descriptions of the parts I used in the area below. So the first thing I wanted to go over was this little plastic piece that comes with the fountain. This plastic piece attaches to the hose, and then underneath the hose, obviously, there's the water pump that attaches here, but I don't need that for this demonstration. The plastic piece, as it sits in this hole, it shifts around, even with the tube on. It's no different. Put the tube on, it's in the hole, it shifts around. Okay. When it shifts around, it allows water sometimes to get inside the separation, and then the water goes down into the tower, and it kind of diverts the flow from the spigot, preventing it from going through the fountain. So the one fix I came up with, if you go to any garden store, you can pretty much buy a pack of these. It's O-ring washers. They're just assortments. And there's one washer in here in particular that fits this perfectly. It's got a little indentation in the center of this washer. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but when you put the plastic piece in there, it pushes in, and it's just a perfect fit. So you can see how it sits in there on its own, it doesn't move. And then when you put this back into the fountain, it creates like a perfect seal around there. But I've come up with something a little better that doesn't require this plastic piece anymore, because in the past these have snapped off on me and they're almost impossible to get back on properly. So what I've come up with is, if you purchase this kind of tubing, this is safe for drinking water. This tubing is much better than the one that it comes with. You have to buy, I guess, this whole roll, because you only need about 4.5 inches of it for this fountain. And again, I'll put all the descriptions below. And then another piece that you need, unfortunately, you have to buy the entire pack. This isn't any plumbing store. It's like a compression fitting. I think it was like $10 or something. But the piece that we need from here is this little fitting here. So unscrew this, you'll see this fitting with this flange here. And this flange is obviously the important part. And when you take this and you couple it with the hose, the 4.5 inch hose, and another O-ring from that same washer O-ring pack, this fits perfectly underneath that flange of the brass fitting. And then when you take all three, push it in, and it's just an absolute perfect fit. And then when you push this in the fountain, there's no more surface area. It's sealed off. It's not, riding on the top of the fountain like the other one. This is just absolutely perfect. So that's one fix. The other fix is, when I first purchased this fountain approximately a year ago. I'm not really sure if they've changed any of the molds yet, but with the larger tower, the molding is off. I mean, it's slight, but it's off enough where the water is running off the edge. So the water is running off of here, and what happens is, when it does that, is if the cats move the fountain backwards, it will touch the base. And if the water runs off the back, it comes here, runs off the base, and makes a mess on the floor. So what I've come up with in order to fix that problem, and by the way, I spoke to the manufacturer. They're very responsive, but they weren't quite grasping the problem I was having, I guess. I don't know. They sent me a replacement. They sent me then another replacement. Both molds were exactly the same. So after the third one, I figured this is just a manufacturing defect, and they said they couldn't even inspect them before they went out because I guess they're, you know, I don't know how their company's set up or whatever. But the only thing I could come up with is on the bottom, since it's pretty rough, this is ceramic. So I just bought silicone, and make sure you get the silicone that's the all-purpose silicone, because this is the only version of this silicone from this manufacturer that is safe for drinking water. So make sure you get the all-purpose. And what I did is I just put a bead around the one side that has to be lifted a bit, and kind of eyeballed it just to make sure. I think mine was off maybe not a quarter of an inch, an eighth of an inch, and you know, it worked pretty well. Every once in a while, you'll have to replace the bead on the bottom just because of the nature of the issue, and that really did fix things. But other than that, this fountain is great. You know, for many reasons. You know, it's like antimicrobial because of its ceramic makeup. There's no filter required, and they just require or recommend that you fill up the water, I'd say once a week, and throw it in the dishwasher once a month just to wash everything off. But other than that, it's a very good fountain. The cats love it, especially the different tiers that they can drink from at the same time. This holds a lot of water. If you look at this thing in person, you would not guess how much water this thing holds, but it does hold a very good amount of water. So I would say at least maybe once a week you just have to fill it up with, you know, I don't know, I think it's maybe about 20 ounces, I would say. I usually fill it up a week. But yeah, again, this fountain is awesome. The cats really like it. And this is pretty much what it looks like with this piece replaced and when it's working perfect. The only thing I don't have in this demonstration is the little pump working, but it doesn't really matter. But you'll absolutely love this fountain. It's a little bit more on the expensive side. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, just leave them below, and I'll check them periodically. All right, thanks. Bye.